The movie opens with its main character, Bear, who is completely smitten with his close friend Nikki. He's wanted to confess his feelings for a long time, but has never found the courage. Finally, he decides enough is enough, and he starts rehearsing his confession with his friends, practicing over and over until he feels ready. His friends push him to go see her immediately, and Bear heads home, buzzing with excitement. That excitement collapses the moment he walks in and finds his pet cat dead. It's his own fault. He'd left his medication out, and the cat had eaten it. The guilt sends him into a spiral, and for days he barely speaks to anyone or leaves the house. During this dark stretch, he learns something that shakes him even further. Nikki is about to move abroad for school, meaning he might lose his chance with her for good. Realizing this could be his last shot, Bear gets an invitation through his friend Ian to a party Nikki is hosting. He dresses up, rehearses his confession one more time in the mirror, and before heading to the party, stops at a jewelry store to buy her something special. Overwhelmed by the choices, he asks the salesgirl for help and settles on a delicate locket. Still nervous, he jokes and asks if there's anything in the store that could improve his luck. She laughs and hands him a few lucky charms, but none of them catch his eye, until he notices a strange stick on the counter, said to grant a single wish. Curious, he asks if it actually works. The salesgirl's expression turns unexpectedly serious, and she warns him that everyone who has ever used it has had their life changed forever, never returning to how it was. Bear feels a flicker of fear, but shrugs it off. He's never believed in this kind of thing anyway. But since this is about the person he loves, he buys the stick. At the party, everyone is having a great time, but Bear still can't bring himself to give Nikki her gift or say what he came to say. As the night winds down, he signals to Ian to get everyone to leave so he and Nikki can have a moment alone. His friends catch on and slip away one by one. Bear then offers to drive Nikki home. The whole ride, he intends to finally tell her how he feels, but he freezes. Every rehearsed line vanishes from his mind, and his thoughts spiral until they arrive at her house, and once again, he says nothing. As Nikki steps out of the car, Bear finally calls out to her. She turns and asks what's wrong, but he still can't get the words out, though his eyes say everything he can't. Sensing it, Nikki asks him directly if he loves her. The question stuns him so completely that he freezes up entirely and says nothing. Nikki walks away, and it's only afterward that the weight of what just happened hits him. The perfect opening, and he wasted it. Desperate to fix things, he pulls out the wish stick he bought earlier. In a panic, he snaps it and wishes that Nikki would fall deeply in love with him. The moment he makes the wish, an eerie stillness settles over everything, and the film hints, through subtle cues, that the magic is real. Bear has no idea yet. Just as he's about to drive off, he notices Nikki standing at her gate, staring at him. She runs back to the car and asks, almost frantically, if she can come stay at his place. Confused, he asks why, and she says she's scared and doesn't want to be alone tonight. He agrees, and the moment she gets in the car, she falls asleep, behavior so strange it unsettles him even more. He takes her home and wakes her once they arrive. She goes straight to his room and sits on his bed. When he asks how she ended up coming over on such short notice, she tearfully explains that both her parents are extremely sick. Her father is in the final stage of cancer and could die any day, and she didn't want to face that grief alone. Seeing her cry, Bear believes her completely. He sits beside her, and she rests her head on his shoulder, growing closer to him than ever. But just as suddenly, her demeanor shifts entirely, as if some spell has broken. She pulls back, startled, and asks what she's doing there and how she even got there. Bear explains, confused himself by her flip in behavior. Before he can process it, she starts laughing again, as though the strange pull has taken hold of her once more, and she moves even closer to him. That night, Bear can't sleep. Remembering her sudden, genuine confusion earlier, he becomes convinced that whatever is happening to Nikki is connected to that strange stick, meaning her feelings for him aren't real at all, just some kind of magical manipulation he's unknowingly taking advantage of. In the morning, he searches everywhere online for information about the stick, but finds nothing, which only deepens his confusion. Maybe he starts to think Nikki really does love him after all. That illusion shatters when he walks into the kitchen and finds Nikki performing some bizarre ritual around his dead cat's remains. Some kind of occult symbol drawn out, along with disturbing things done to the body. Terrified, he says nothing to her, especially when she calls him over sweetly, as if nothing happened. They had to work together, and Nikki excitedly tells their friend Ian about staying over. Bear, still shaken, asks Ian why he never mentioned that Nikki's parents were so ill. Ian is baffled. Her parents aren't sick at all, and more than that, Nikki has always seen Bear strictly as a friend, nothing more. Ian admits he never told Bear because he didn't want to hurt his feelings. This confirms Bear's fear. The wish is real, and he's been manipulating a girl who never actually loved him. Guilt consumes him. He never intended to toy with her feelings this way. He wants to end things with Nikki now, but he can't bring himself to, especially with how devoted and affectionate she remains. Days pass, and despite his guilt, Bear starts living out what feels like his dream, spending every moment with Nikki, and for a while, life feels perfect. Wanting answers, he takes her to dinner and asks directly if her parents are actually sick. Her expression turns serious, and she insists they're not, but she says no over and over, each time with a different, unsettling reaction. Shock, distress, even bursts of laughter. She stands up mid-conversation and starts crying uncontrollably. Her behavior frightens Bear enough that he cuts the dinner short and rushes her home. Once there, she stays unnervingly close to him, even following him to the bathroom. That night, Bear wakes to find Nikki standing in a corner, alternating between laughing and crying, behaving as though she's possessed by something. She grabs a vase, holds it eerily close to her face, and approaches him with an unnatural, jerking walk, almost inhuman. She startles him on purpose, then collapses onto the bed laughing. For a moment, he wonders if it's just a prank, but deep down, he knows something is deeply wrong. Each day grows stranger. Nikki's affection curdles into obsession. She watches him for hours without moving, and even her smile starts to terrify him. Overwhelmed, he confides in his friend Sarah over lunch, explaining that the Nikki he fell for isn't the person in front of him anymore. Mid-conversation, as he bites into his sandwich, something feels off. He opens it and discovers it's made with meat from his dead cat. Horrified, he vomits on the spot and drops his food entirely. He's now certain that something evil has taken hold of Nikki. No normal person could ever think to make something like that. Shaken, he heads home to find Nikki in an even more disturbing state. Her mouth smeared with some unidentifiable substance, as if she's eaten something raw, an animal perhaps, her eyes gleaming with a triumphant, unnatural light. Too afraid to stay, he tells her to clean herself up while he steps out for a while. Time passes, and Bear decides to throw a party at his place to celebrate Nikki's return to normalcy, or so the story around them suggests. Everyone is thrilled to see the two of them together, having always known how much Bear loved her. But what unsettles the guests is that Nikki, who never returned his feelings before, is now displaying an almost obsessive devotion to him. As people chat and gather close to Bear, Nikki grows visibly jealous and angry. She stands and announces to the room that everyone there is going to die, declaring that she doesn't like anyone who's close to Bear. The guests are terrified, and Bear realizes his situation has spiraled completely out of control. Nikki isn't done. She grabs a bottle, smashes it on the table, and presses the broken edge to her own face. The guests flee in horror, and Bear apologizes to everyone, claiming Nikki hasn't been feeling well and needs to see a doctor. Once they're alone, he confronts her, demanding to know what's wrong with her and why she's behaving this way, asking if she's trying to punish him for something. She insists nothing is wrong and tries to get close to him again, but Bear pulls away, telling her he's had enough and that he's taking her home for good. As he turns to leave, Nikki's mood snaps into rage. She storms into the kitchen, grabs a large knife, and advances on him. Bear stumbles backward, and in that desperate moment, he realizes what he has to say to save himself. He tells her he isn't going anywhere, that they'll stay together. The words instantly calm her. She drops the knife, and her fury melts back into affection. She takes him to bed and sleeps holding his arm all night. Once he's sure she's deeply asleep, Bear quietly sneaks out and calls Sarah, who has grown just as worried about him. Sitting in his car, he starts telling her everything about Nikki's condition. But before he can explain the wish, Nikki wakes up. Finding Bear missing from the house terrifies her, and when she finds him outside with Sarah, jealousy consumes her. In a horrifying instant, she smashes the car window on Sarah's side and slams Sarah's head repeatedly against the steering wheel, killing her instantly. It happens too fast for Bear to react or intervene. He's frozen, unable to process what just occurred. After killing Sarah, Nikki calmly walks around to Bear's side and embraces him. Exhausted and desperate to end this nightmare, Bear finally returns to the store where he bought the stick. He tells the salesgirl everything. How his wish has spiraled into something monstrous and how he needs to undo it. She explains that undoing a wish isn't simple. Once made and fulfilled, it can never be reversed by the same person. After much discussion, they land on a possible solution. Someone else could make a new wish on Bear's behalf to fix things. Hopeful, Bear buys another stick and brings it to Ian, explaining how it works and asking him to wish for Bear's life to go back to normal. Ian agrees and takes hold of the stick, but greed creeps in at the last second. Instead of wishing for Bear's life to be restored, he wishes for wealth for himself. The moment he breaks the stick, money rains down from above. Bear watches, devastated, realizing that even his closest friend has betrayed him, and now this wish can't be undone either. Broken and out of options, Bear returns home to find Nikki still trapped in her horrifying state. Then he remembers something the salesgirl told him, that if the person who made the original wish dies, the wish dies with them. Seeing no other way out, he decides this is the only path left. He looks at Nikki one last time with love in his eyes, then picks up a gun, puts it to his mouth, and pulls the trigger. The instant he dies, the wish breaks, and Nikki is freed from its hold, returning to herself with no memory of what happened over the past several days. Finding Bear's body in front of her, she breaks down, screaming and sobbing, then looks down at herself, clearly shattered by grief and horror. The film closes on her anguish and Bear's lifeless body, ending with the message that no wish, however desperate, is worth chasing through the wrong means. That's the end of this heartbreaking tale of love, guilt, and the price of a wish gone wrong. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.